analysis, controversies, and power play. Stories that analyze global and domestic politics. A dedicated show with varied perspectives, expert take, citizens' voices, detailed ground reports, and in-depth coverage from political corridors of the world. This is Race to Power, only on WION.
In West Asia, every move shifts the world's balance. Wars, ceasefires, alliances, power never stands still. From Tehran to Tel Aviv, from Damascus to Doha, the West Asia Post cuts through the chaos to reveal the region that shapes the world. Because what happens in West Asia never stays in West Asia. This is the West Asia Post, the region's story, the world's impact.
In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures, and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who truly matter, because we believe in decoding the real picture for you. So you get a much wider and deeper understanding of stories from around the world, a 360-degree analysis. An award-winning documentary series, week after week creating the maximum impact. Watch WION Wide Angle at these times on WION. World is One.
Welcome back, everyone.
Absolutely great to have everyone here with us in attendance, and some of the attendees who are now with us, and we'll have dignitaries from the Sri Lankan government. Some are here, more will be joining. An absolute pleasure to have this discussion with all our friends here in Sri Lanka. We now continue the conclave with the same energy and momentum as we have had in the first session.
Right, as we move into a series of impactful discussions now ahead.
And we are especially looking forward to some engaging insights from our esteemed ministers and distinguished speakers.
So now let's begin the next chapter of today's session. Shivan.
Well, to set the context for what follows, we now present a brief visual to you for all of you all. Now, this is going to be all about what this summit contains.
India and Sri Lanka's deep civilizational and cultural ties have undergone a notable transformation, and trade is emerging as the central pillar of this engagement. India and Sri Lanka enjoy a vibrant, growing economic and commercial partnership that has expanded significantly over the years. In addition to being Sri Lanka's largest trade partner, India is also one of the largest contributors to foreign direct investment in Sri Lanka. At the same time, the Indian Ocean partnership between India and Sri Lanka continues to strengthen. On our panel, India-Sri Lanka Transforming Ties with Trade, we will explore all this and much more as both countries help shape the evolving landscape of the Indian Ocean region.
We would now like to invite our CEO, Mr. Raktim Das, whose leadership continues to guide and strengthen the organization's vision and growth.
Mr. Raktim Das, sir, please take the stage. CEO, Z Media Corporation Limited, kindly join us and address the gathering.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Hanif Yusuf, Government of the Western Province and Special Envoy of the President for Foreign Investment. Mr. Chaturanga Abhay Singh, Deputy Minister for Industry and Entrepreneurship Development. Professor Ruwan Chaminda Rana Singh, Deputy Minister of Tourism. Mr. Santosh Jha, Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka. Esteemed guests and delegates from India. Ayubovan, Namaskar. Let me begin by expressing my deep gratitude for all the stakeholders from Sri Lanka and representatives from Government of Sri Lanka for being an integral part of this Z Media WION Global Innovation and Leadership Summit. Z Media WION Global Innovation and Leadership Summit signals something that's more powerful, that dialogue, collaboration, and shared ambition are the true currencies of progress. It is indeed a pleasure for all of us to be here in this beautiful island nation, a country which we have always felt has connected various countries from across the world, connected worlds, as well as whose shores have welcomed ideas, culture, and commerce. As many of you would perhaps be aware, Z pioneered the media and entertainment industry in India almost 30 years back. Z News is the first ever private news broadcaster in the country. And today, as I speak, as part of Z Media Corporation Limited, we have over 19 news channels and about 32 digital properties. We are by far the largest news network in the country, and as I have already mentioned, we are the first news media network in the country. At Z Media, through platforms like WION, we believe that leadership in today's world must be anchored with three powerful forces. First is clarity, second, courage, and third is collaboration. Clarity to see beyond the noise, courage to act in times of uncertainty, and collaboration beyond borders to drive shared growth. Ladies and gentlemen, thousands of years ago, India articulated a very powerful but a very simple truth, Vasudevai Kutumbakam. That means world is one family. WION, which is India's first global news platform, is a reflection of this philosophy. World is one. This is not just a tagline for us. It is a lens through which we see India and the world, human culture, and global connection. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are living in a time when the world is not evolving gradually. It is being fundamentally rewritten. Geopolitics is shifting, technology is accelerating, economies are being rebalanced, and societies are demanding progress with purpose. In such a world, leadership is no longer about managing stability. It is about navigating disruption, shaping what comes next. And nowhere is collaboration more important than in our region, because South Asia, with its skill, talent, and ambition, has the potential to become one of the most powerful growth engines of the 21st century. At Z Media, we see our role as more than just a news organization. We are connectors of leadership ideas, amplifiers of innovation, and catalysts of collaboration. Because what we believe is that when nations come together with shared intent, transformation is just but inevitable. Sri Lanka, with its rich heritage, strategic geography, and resilient people, stands not just as a participant, but as a potential leader in this transformation. As I stand here today in this beautiful city of Colombo, I am reminded that nations are not built only by policies, plans, or partnerships. They are built by people, by resilience in difficult times, and by the belief in uncertain moments, and by the courage to rise again even when the odds may seem overwhelming. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a saying in our part of the world that the ocean does not divide us, it connects us. The same waters that touch your shores in Colombo also touch ours in India. They carry not just trade, but history, culture, emotion, and shared destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the leaders from India who have traveled here to be part of this summit. As I have spoken to a few of you over here, this is just a beginning. There will be much more that we will be planning. And this entire summit is being telecast on our global news channel, WION, which has a footprint across almost 190 countries. Your presence here today is more than symbolic. It reflects a shared commitment to collaborate, to learn from one another, and to support and to grow together. So today, let this not just be another summit. Let this be a moment we remember as the beginning of something more meaningful. A deeper spirit of partnership, a stronger narrative, and a shared future that we can build together. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight, and I wish you all the very best and have a great evening ahead.
Thank you so much for those insightful words, sir. And we now move forward.
Yeah, we now move forward, and again, this segment would be about now India-Sri Lanka relations, exploring partnership, enterprise, culture, and civilizational ties between the two nations.
Next is going to be our summit keynote. And for that, I would like to invite Hanif Yusuf, Governor of the Western Province and Special Envoy of the President of Sri Lanka for Foreign Investment. Please, with a loud round of applause. Mr. Yusuf.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, distinguished business leaders, friends from India and from Sri Lanka. It is both a privilege and a deeply personal honor, I must say, to speak to you today on a subject that is not merely economic, nor strategic, or diplomatic to me. It is personal. Because when we speak of India and Sri Lanka as partners in progress, I do not speak as an observer. I speak as evidence. I stand before you as a son of Sri Lanka, born of Indian roots, shaped by the Sri Lankan soil, and made by the opportunities this island gave my family. My story, in many ways, is a story of what is possible when India and Sri Lanka do not merely coexist, but grow together. My forefathers crossed a narrow stretch of ocean, but what they really crossed was possibility. They came from India to Sri Lanka not as conquerors, not as empire builders, not even as men of privilege. They came as people of courage. Like so many families who crossed these waters generations ago, they came little more than values of discipline, faith, and the willingness to work. They brought with them something that no customs officer could stamp and no port could tax. They brought enterprise. They brought resilience. They brought family values and trust. And Sri Lanka gave them, as much every great nation must give those who are willing to build, a chance to belong, a chance to build, and a chance to dream. This is the story of my family. And that, I believe, is the story of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has been more than an island. It has always been an idea, a meeting point, a trading post, a bridge between civilizations, a place where cultures arrive not to collide, but to converge. For centuries, our two nations have been bound not just by geography, but by something much deeper: memory, movement, commerce, culture, and civilization. Before there were trade agreements, there were traders. Before there were diplomatic missions, there were pilgrims. Before there were policy frameworks, there were people. The ties between India and Sri Lanka was not written in treaties. They were written in footsteps. In the footsteps of monks carrying the Dhamma, in the footsteps of merchants carrying spice, silk, and stories, in the footsteps of families crossing oceans in search of dignity and opportunity, in footsteps of ideas, faith, languages, and traditions that still shape us today. And this is what makes our relationship unique. India and Sri Lanka are not just neighbors, ladies and gentlemen. We are a civilization partners. India is the world's largest democracy. Sri Lanka is Asia's oldest democracy. India is one of the great engines of the 21st century. Sri Lanka, smaller in size, holds this rare advantage of agility, access, and strategic intimacy. India is scale. Sri Lanka is precision. India is volume. Sri Lanka is velocity. India is the world's greatest growth story. Sri Lanka can become one of its most valuable growth partners. This is not diplomacy. That is strategy. And the question before us is not whether India will rise. India is already rising. The real question is, who will rise with India? And I believe Sri Lanka can. Not as a bystander, not as a dependent, but as a trusted partner. Sri Lanka can become for India what the best partnerships in the world always become. An extension of strength, a place to think, a place to build, a place to test, a place to refine, a place to scale. For Indian business, Sri Lanka should not be really viewed as a market of 22 million people. That is far too small a lens. Sri Lanka must be seen as a strategic platform, a platform for regional operations, a platform for talent, a platform for logistics, a platform for high-value manufacturing, a platform for services, a platform for brand India to engage with speed, elegance, and trust. Look at what Sri Lanka offers. We sit at the center of the Indian Ocean. We just off the southern coast of India, at the crossroads of the busiest maritime routes in the world. A ship leaving India does not pass Sri Lanka. It passes through Sri Lanka's relevance. We offer proximity without complexity. We offer access with agility. We offer a highly literate workforce, deep service capability, legal familiarities, cultural compatibility, and an instinctive understanding of Indian enterprise. And perhaps most importantly, we offer comfort. For Indian business leaders, Sri Lanka does not feel foreign. It feels familiar. The food is familiar. The family values are familiar. The emotional grammar is familiar. The cultural rhythm is familiar. You do not need to explain ambition here. You do not need to explain family values here. You do not need to explain trust here. Sri Lanka understands India not because we study India. Sri Lanka understands India because in many ways we have grown alongside India. That matters in business. Capital goes where confidence lives, and confidence grows where understanding already exists. That is Sri Lanka's greatest competitive advantage. Not costs, not incentives. It is about Indian enterprise seeing Sri Lanka not only as a destination, but a part and execution. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, in fact, I appeal to you, to build your second headquarters here. I ask you to build your regional service centers here. Build your design labs here. Build your logistics platforms here. Build your financial technology back offices here. Build your great hospitality brands here. And build your confidence here. Come not only to sell to Sri Lanka. Come to build from Sri Lanka. That is the shift. And if that shift happens, this relationship will move from historical friendship to a very strategic independence. And that's where the true progress is. I've said this before and I'll tell today that no honest speech on India and Sri Lanka can be made without gratitude. Because partnership is tested not in prosperity, but in crisis. When Sri Lanka faced moments of hardship, India stood by Sri Lanka in terms of uncertainty, in terms of shortage, in times of economic distress, in times when friendship mattered more than formality. India showed up. Not with slogans, with support. Not with sentiment, but with substance. And Sri Lanka remembers that. And for that friendship, for that solidarity, and for that consistency, Your Excellency, we say thank you again. Not diplomatically this time, but sincerely. And today I say to my friends from India, do not look at Sri Lanka merely from the lenses of its past difficulties. Look at Sri Lanka through the lenses of its future possibilities. This is a nation of resilience, a nation of intelligence, a nation of strategic consequence, a nation that has stumbled, yes, but a nation that never stopped, standing back up. And that is the kind of nation you should be partnering with. I know this because my own life is a proof of what Sri Lanka can make possible. A family arrives, a chance is given, a business is built, a future is created, a life is transformed. This is not just my story. Can be the story of this nation. And perhaps that is the true promise of India and Sri Lanka as partners in progress. Not merely that we trade together, but that we rise together. Not merely that we invest in each other, but that we believe in each other. Not merely that we share geography, but we share destiny. India is rising. Sri Lanka is ready. Let us meet not only as neighbors. Let us build as partners. Let us not inherit only history. Let us create legacy. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Please be on stage, sir, for a while.
Thank you so much for those words, sir. And please stay with us. We're going to now be giving out the first round of felicitations, and for that I'll again request our CEO, Z Media, Raktim Das sir. Sir, please join us on stage for the first round of felicitations for all our guests who are here with us. And I'd like to take their names and gradually each one can come.
Right.
Let's start.
Yeah. So let's start with Rakesh Jain, who is Managing Director of Design India Advertising Limited. Can we please invite them on stage?
Mr. Rakesh Jain. All right, we'll go to the next. Mr. Manish Chaturvedi, founder and MD, Indus Strategy Financial Advisor. And the category is for Impact Leader in Business and Investment Strategy.
Give a huge round of applause, please.
Maybe add the memento on stage, please. Right.
Let's
We
move
next
forward. Yeah.
call upon Mr.
M.K. Bhatia.
M.K. Bhatia, Chairman and Founder, MITS Healthcare Private Limited, for excellence in healthcare. Do we have him here with us? All right, let's move to the next. Mr. Vivek Singh, Managing Director, Minds Lab Publishing.
In the category of excellence in publishing in medicine and healthcare. Okay. Can we have the memento, please? Yeah. Now, Sanjeev has the one. Let's move forward. Now, I would request Mr. Sanjeev Agrawal, Chairman of Sage Group, to please come on the stage.
Felicitated for excellence in the education sector. Loud round of applause. Please take the stage.
Can we please share them up?
Next is Dr. Kumar Prashant. Do we have him here? Director, Jaya Siddhartha Hospital, for Lifetime Achievement Honor for excellence in critical healthcare.
Next, we would request Mr. Rohit Jain, who is the Director of RRR Infra Developers. Please, sir, come on the stage.
Mr. Rohit Jain.
It would be our honor to felicitate you in the category of excellence in real estate sector.
Next is Mr. Rajesh Jain, Director, KGK Realty India Limited, for excellence in real estate sector. On his behalf, Rashmi Dharwal and Pushpendra Singh would be receiving the award. Please take the stage.
Give
receive
a
the
big
award
round of applause again.
on behalf of Mr. Rajesh Jain.
All right, let's move forward. Now, I would like to request Dr. D. Shanmuga Raja, Managing Director of Rightway Health International Private Limited. Sir, please come on the stage.
And on his behalf, Gaji Yokesh Shunmuga will be receiving the award for inspiring mentor in direct selling industry.
Next, Mr. Vishwajit Datta, who is VC of Techno Global University, Sironj.
Please take the stage, being awarded for excellence in the education sector. Dr. Biswajit Datta. Next, we call upon Mr. Prakash Rijal, founder, MIPA Industries. Please come to the stage, sir. You can keep the claps rolling. Thank you.
Now I would like to request Mr. Ravi Singhal, who is the Director and CEO of GCL Broking. Sir, please come on the stage.
Mr. Ravi Singhal, please come. Next, we'd like to call Simrat Kathuria, proprietor and founder, the Diet Experts. Simrat Kathuria, please come to the stage.
All right, give a big round of applause, please.
All right, we'd now like to call Dr. K. Srinivas Rao, Managing Director, Hamtech Technologies India Private Limited. Dr. K. Srinivas Rao, can please take to the stage.
Do we have...
Sir, please. See you on the stage, please.
All right, next we request Mr. Kuldeep Singh, Director of SKM Contractor and Services Private Limited. Sir, please come on the stage.
Mr. Kuldeep Singh. Finally, we'd like to call upon Dr. Avinash Singh Chauhan, Managing Director, Shivaya Hospital. Dr. Avinash Singh Chauhan, if you're here in attendance. All right. So that's the first. All right, here's it. And that completes our first round of felicitations. Big thank you. And we'd now like to also felicitate Governor Yusuf. Governor, please stay with us on stage. We'd like to offer a slight memento to you too, sir.
Can we have the memento, please?
Thank you so much for making time coming here. And please, sir, please be with us. We'd like to offer you.
Thank you so much for giving us your time today. Thank you so much.
Big round of applause for Governor Yusuf, please. Thank you so much to Governor Yusuf and our CEO, Mr. Raktan Das. And with that, we move to the next part of our summit here, the industry keynote. And for that, we'd like to focus on enterprise and innovation as key drivers of growth across both nations, India and Sri Lanka.
Right. And we are now joined by Chaturanga Besinge, Deputy Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development, Member of Parliament. Can you please have them on stage? Give a big round of applause.
Big round of applause, sir. Please need not hesitate at all. Stage is all yours, sir. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure and an honor to speak to you all, and especially thanking the Z Media Network, WION, and the organizers of this forum. Firstly, bringing it to Sri Lanka and allowing us to share the current and the future strategies of our country, how we can collaborate together. His Excellency Santosh Jha, High Commissioner to India, Deputy Ministers who are here, the Governor of the Western Province, and people from the Diplomatic Service, and all the investors and friends of Sri Lanka who has gathered here. As the Governor explained, we don't have to convince you all about the economic potential of Sri Lanka. We have been talking about this for many years, especially in terms of being a strategic location, in terms of our natural resources, abundance, and skill of our people, and obviously for tourism, the beauty of our land. So these key features giving competitive advantage has been there for generations and since ancient times. But today what we are going to discuss is about a genuine effort, a transformation that's going to take place in the economy of Sri Lanka, where this opportunity opens up for all of you, and the current government is laying the foundation for growth. And that is why this particular forum, this particular time, it becomes very important to understand how we can collaborate together. As we welcome all of you to explore Sri Lanka, my memory takes back a few years where I got the opportunity to build a factory in Andhra Pradesh, Nellore. So this was in 2011, where I was working for MAS Holdings. They decided to expand their operations in Andhra for Nike, building a garment factory in a place where there was only sand mining and groundnuts. So I've experienced a transformation of 700 lives in that area, giving life to women, giving life to children and their families, which they didn't have any other economic activity. You know how Andhra has transformed since then, and we were part of first organizations here in Sri Lanka to take that opportunity and move there. And a similar situation is here. That's why I want to bring that memories so that I could tell you the story of Sri Lanka, which you are going to hear for the next 15 minutes. Why it is important for all of you to see Sri Lanka as opportunity and to be part of this transformation. So I took Andhra as an example because it's a living example of transformation. And why now? Since the independence, both our countries got independence in similar time. And until the people's movement, a people's movement happened in Sri Lanka, 2024 is where people decided that we are going to change the system. And until that, Sri Lanka was not able to do the reforms which India did in 90s, which South Korea did in early 2000s, and Vietnam did at that time. So we were not able to use the technology as a strategic transformation tool. We were not able to connect to the global markets as we should have done. And also, we were not able to, as a society, change the deeply rooted corruption, eventually contributed to collapse of our country. And that is what you saw as the economic crisis in 2022. And these transformations took place in your countries, and we watched it, but we couldn't do it. However, during past 15 months, after the uprise of the citizens of this country, transformation has begun. It's a very solid, purposeful transformation. And I know India took 3 decades in this transformation. So these days, I am carrying a book called Backstage by Montek Singh Aluwalia. So his story about him being part of your government service for 3 decades, he clearly explains what kind of political, economical, structural changes India went through in that book. So we are now trying to achieve a similar transformation within the next 5 to 10 years. It's not going to be easy, but we are determined that we can do that. And when it comes to few highlights I want to bring about that you could take away, and especially for those who are listening across the globe. So there is a compelling reason why someone would pick Sri Lanka at this point. One big issue for Sri Lanka to bring in investment was structural corruption. These were deeply rooted corruption that stole investments with various reasons, red tape and all that. And at the end, there was an era that investors should pay additional amounts as bribes to political structures. But I can guarantee you that has been ended for the last 15 months. And when it comes to tariff reforms, we are going through one of the biggest tariff reforms in our history. So we are taking away our para-tariffs, slowly adjusting ourselves to be able to connect it to the rest of the world. For a country like us to grow, we need to be able to connect to multilateral agreements, trade agreements. So we are looking at how do we connect to East Asia, Africa, and again, renegotiate how do we trade with India as well, because it is going to be the world's largest economy. And in terms of investment landscape, we have already passed the new Investment Promotion Act. We have readjusted and made it clear how to invest in our port city. The Investment in Port City Act has already in place. And in terms of investment protection, this year we will be passing another bill that will ensure the foreign investments will be protected in a far greater way than it should. And in terms of insolvencies, so we didn't have an insolvency act in this country, so this will be tabled in Parliament next week and will be passed within next 2 months. And in terms of public-private partnerships, we know how India grew with public-private partnerships, where the government and the private sector co-invested in infrastructure. That bill is also in the line, so by May it will be done. And in terms of the coming months, there will be more legal reforms that will enable that investments and investment protection and investment enablement that will happen in Sri Lanka. And also, we are working very hard on institutional reforms through digitization, ensuring that the investments will be, lives of the investors will be made easy. We are working on a single window for trade. We are working on a single window for investments. I know these are available in your country, but we have started. And large-scale infrastructure developments are taking place in the country for the last year, which was stalled due to economic crisis. Highways are getting built, and ports and aviation investments are secured, and also that transportation will enable that we will improve more on our logistics competition. We know logistics is going to be a big change in the game, and it has to be, and that those investments are taking place. At the same time, the crisis was mostly driven by fiscal ill discipline. So we have a strong disciplined fiscal management system now. 2025 has been the most significant recent economic outcomes, both fiscal and macro. So that is due to very strong, purposeful governance. And in terms of the stability that we have achieved over the last 2 years is expected to continue. And in terms of predictability, Sri Lankan economy is now predictable. So it has been predicted with the support of IMF, with our debt repayment plans being planned for the next 6 years. So it's a predictable economy. No good place than a predictable economy for investments to ensure that you have your risks mitigated, because we go on a structured program for the next 6 years. And at the same time, not only all the economic indicators, you would have seen yesterday was the International Labor Day, the May Day we call it, strong support across the nation for the current government, which government has 2/3 power in the parliament with the executive president. So the stability is secured for you to come and invest. And as the governor explained, our relationships with India and Sri Lanka is deep and historic and sentimental as well. So at the same time, India has been our partner in all the difficulties. So every time Sri Lanka got into trouble with its own merits, India has stepped in to support us without any questions asked. And at the same time, we have more than 100 large-scale business investments, Indian business investments operating in Sri Lanka. So we want to make it 1,000. And many Sri Lankan brands are now working in the Indian market with collaboration. Collaboration is the way to go forward. So especially when I was even there in 2011, we saw how Damro expanded in India. We have our Elephant House, which is the Ceylon Cold Stores brand now collaborating in India. Maliban is moved to India. And Amante, the apparel brand, is also partnered, an Indian large conglomerate and working very well with the Indian market. As the governor said, our market is very small. Even we say it's 2.2 million, our buying power is very small. So therefore, this is not the market. But you can use Sri Lanka as a platform to reach East, to reach Middle East, to reach the West. Because with EU, we have a GSP plus trade agreement. We have a large trade partnership with the US. So Indian businesses, you can use Sri Lanka as a manufacturing base, add value, and reach the rest of the world through us as well. And so we also need your support, especially our industries here, to be connected to global value chains. And we invite all of you to look at brownfield investments and startups. We have limited land, limited capabilities, and limited resources. Therefore, expanding the existing industrial footprint can be done with your support, with your investments, with your technologies. And in terms of industrialization, if I may say, we are late, but we are not going to give up. So our industrial policy will be out end of this year, and the startup ecosystem is getting stronger, and obviously the Indian counterparts have extended their hands to help us on our startup ecosystem. The national mineral policy is out, and national export strategy is out. So therefore, there is a lot of changes that's happening fast and quickly that we adapt and move as a resilient nation. As you all know, we have survived a pandemic, we have survived economic crisis, and last year, a major cyclone. So we have a resilient industry here. So all our exporters and manufacturers has been resilient. So that sheer skill and determination you won't find anywhere else. But that is why we are asking you to partner them and go global with them. And government of Sri Lanka is now offering an amazing opportunity with all these investment protections, strategic investment act, so that we can transform our economy and ensure that Sri Lanka is the next economic transformation in the region. So specifically, I would ask, because we talk about many sectors, agriculture has the huge potential, because some of our agricultural products are unique to the world, but 70% of our agriculture does not add value or does not go through a value-adding process. There's a huge opportunity that we can go through that. And the other sector that is growing very fast is the marine sector. Beyond logistics, the shipbuilding, marine building, and in terms of activities in sea, we call it the strategy on the ocean, there is huge opportunity to partner, and I know already certain investments have come through India. And the last area that I want to highlight is the creative economy. Together, we can create a huge change in the creative economy. Our cultures, our music, and our entertainment, and using Sri Lanka as a hub for entertainment, India can do wonders with it. Because at the moment, we can attract people from all parts of the world to Colombo and other parts of Sri Lanka as well. So 3 things I would say: agriculture, marine, and creative economy will be top of on my mind in driving the next few years as a Deputy Minister of Industries. So it's a warm invite to all of you to be part of the change. Sometimes we can watch and wait for countries to change and wait till the end. But you know, the reality is the ones who come early are the ones who will benefit. So our land plots are still cheap, opportunities are open, and if you really see the potential that's going to come out, and Sri Lanka is open for business. That is what we are highlighting here, and I'm telling you with sheer confidence that the people of this country is ready for this transformation. So this transformation is going to take place in the next decade, and we want all of you to be part of it, and we can. And see the long-term potential of this region, Sri Lanka, India together. Think is as a one economic zone, one powerhouse that will drive the global south. And there is no perfect moment at any point. Life will never offer us a perfect moment. And if you miss it, you will miss the opportunity. And I invite you to let's make it perfect and work together. And thank you again for giving this opportunity to reach out to the entire India. And I thank as a government of Sri Lanka for C Media Network and WION selecting Sri Lanka as a location for this forum. And I would look forward for more and more. Thank you very much.
Sir, please stay with us. Sir, please stay with us here on stage. We'll request you to stay. Sri Lanka is open for business. Words are going to be resounding everywhere. Thank you so much for that address. And with that, we now move to the second round of felicitations.
One by one, we'll call from.
I would like to invite our CEO, Z Media, Ratan Das. Sir, please come to the stage before we begin with the felicitations.
And now I think we have Mr. M.K. Bhatia with us. So let's call him.
Mr. M.K. Bhatia, Chairman and Founder, MITS Healthcare Private Limited. Mr. Bhatia, please.
Can we have the memento, please? Next, we would request Mr. Rahul Timbadia, who is the founder and managing director of Latim Metal and Industries Limited and Sajutes Limited. Please come on stage. Can we have the award, please?
We'd like to call upon Mohammad Salim Jafri, MD, Asma Builders and Colonizer Limited, Bilaspur. Please come to the stage, sir.
Please give a big round of applause.
Keep the claps rolling. You can keep it rolling.
All right.
Mr. Rakesh Jain, Managing Director, Design India Advertising Limited. You can please come on stage.
Now I request Mr. Hari Nair, who is the CEO of RNA Builders NG. Please, sir, come on the stage. Award, please.
Mr. Pradeep Chandanan, MD, Inhibio, Water Solution and Technologies. Mr. Chandanan.
All right. Can we have Mr. Sushil Kumar Agrawal, who is the chairman of Abro Recycling Limited? Could you please come on the stage, sir?
Next, Mr. Uttam Sinha, Founder, Director, Cosmosign Creative Solutions Private Limited. Mr. Sinha, please welcome you on stage.
Now I would like to request Mr. Mukesh Pandit, who is the Managing Director of Anjali Floor Concrete Solution Private Limited. Sir, please come on the stage. Mr. Mukesh Pandit.
And finally, we have Dr. Sumit Ranawat, CEO and Founder, SASI Global Education Private Limited. Dr. Ranawat, we have him here in... Please, sir, waiting you on stage. Thank you so much. And Mr. Abhisenge, please stay with us. We'd like to honor you for making time for us, for being here with us. Please, if we can have the memento as we honor.
Please give a big round of applause. Thank you so much for giving us your time today.
Chaturanga Abhisenge, Deputy Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development, Sri Lanka. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much once
Thank you,
again.
Raktim, sir.
Let's move forward.
Yes.
Now it's time for Tourism Keynote. We now turn to tourism and cultural connection, a space where India and Sri Lanka share deep emotional and people-to-people ties.
And to speak, of course, we now welcome Professor Ruban Chaminda Ranasinghe, Deputy Minister of Tourism, Sri Lanka. It can be louder, please.
Honorable Governor of Western Province of Sri Lanka, the Deputy Minister of Industries and Entrepreneurship Development, His Excellency, the High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, and distinguished delegates, guests, ladies and gentlemen, Aiboan. So I'm going to share with you the story of tourism of this beautiful island within the next 15 minutes that I've been given. And to start with, 2025, 32.7 million Indians travel abroad. And we have got here in Sri Lanka 532,000, sorry. So I feel something is wrong here. Yeah? This beautiful land plot, small island, just next to that huge, your country. And I think, well, there is something to be fixed, which will be our focus in the years to come. And to start with, the advantages that we have as an island, and particularly the location that our governor talked about and Chaturanga was talking about. Yeah? So Sri Lanka's location at crossroads of global travel hubs provides a distinct advantage. Situated in the Indian Ocean, we are within immediate reach of major regional markets. Short travel times and frequent flights and cultural proximity make Sri Lanka naturally inviting for Indian visitors. Weekend travel from cities such as Chennai, Bangalore to Colombo has become increasingly common, while direct connectivity through hubs like Dubai, Doha ensures strong links to long-haul markets. This balance of regional accessibility and global connectivity strengthens our positioning significantly as a tourist destination. And a destination of many experiences. One of Sri Lanka's largest strengths is the diversity it offers. In a compact space, well, there are other places that can match, but of course, we offer all these, 65,000 square kilometers. Unlike many destinations where travelers must choose between experiences, Sri Lanka allows them to combine multiple experiences in a single journey. A visitor may begin with grandiose Sigiriya, move on the spiritual atmosphere of Kandy, travel through the scenic tea plantations in Alla and Hill Country, and conclude with a relaxed coastal experience in Mirissa, or our southern coasts. For Indian travelers, this journey is enriched by familiar cuisine, shared cultural elements, and sense of comfort that enhance overall experience. Sri Lanka's cultural heritage spans over 2,500 years and is deeply intertwined with the broader South Asian region. Historical links, particularly through Buddhism, continue to shape the travel patterns today. Pilgrimage tourism remains strong from India to Sri Lanka and Sri Lanka to India as well. I would say our top market for inbound is India, as well as for the top outbound destination for Sri Lankans is also India, particularly for pilgrimage, Buddhist pilgrimage. Festivals such as Kandy Asala Perahara provide vibrant, immersive experiences that resonate with regional audiences who share similar traditions and values. Our heritage is not only preserved, it is live and celebrated. Nature and wildlife. While Sri Lanka feels culturally familiar, its natural offerings provide a sense of discovery and uniqueness. Few destinations can offer such wide range of wildlife experiences. Within close proximity, visitors may encounter leopards in Yala, witness hundreds of elephants in Min area, and even spot blue whales and dolphins off the southern coast. This combination of familiarity and uniqueness allows travelers to feel comfortable, yet constantly engage in activities. And Sri Lanka's coastline of 1,000+ kilometers is the cornerstone of its tourism appeal to visitors. For regional travelers seeking premium beach experiences, like our down south, west coast, east coast, and of course Kalpitiya, could be another luxury destination in the years to come. which is very close. And Chaturanga was talking about the creative economy. I'm sure Kalpitiya would be serving an entertainment hub in the region if we clearly focus and invest on that. So the emerging trends to talk about in tourism industry, so global travel is evolving constantly, and Sri Lanka is adapting to those evolving conditions. We are witnessing a shift from short-term visits to longer. Waligama, Hangama have become hubs for digital nomads. Those stay for a couple of months there, doing their digitally connected jobs. And wellness tourism is also giving momentum, with Ayurveda treats attracting visitors seeking balance and the well-being. Adventure tourism and community-based experiences in rural villages further diversify our offering, ensuring Sri Lanka remains relevant for modern travelers. Sri Lanka is emerging as a preferred destination for wedding visitors as well as honeymooners, particularly from Indian travelers. Scenic venues, cultural compatibility, and logistical convenience make us the natural choice for their wedding destination. Multi-day wedding celebrations in beachfronts, resorts, or heritage villages with luxury local culture, the ability to accommodate traditional customs, cuisine, and the hospitality expectations position Sri Lanka as a compelling alternative for luxury destinations for the Indian wedding market. Medical and wellness. Sri Lanka's strength in Ayurveda and the holistic wellness resonates strongly with the Indian traditions, creating trust and authenticity, combined with modern healthcare services, specifically in the private healthcare industry in the country. We offer seamless experiences for treatment and recovery. Visitors may undergo the medical proceedings in Colombo, whereas our hill country or beachfronts could be the stay for their recovery. And that is within these small premises, which gives us the competitive advantage in the healthcare, wellness, and medical tourism. Tourism is a critical pillar of Sri Lanka's economy. Beyond foreign exchange earnings, it drives employment and the community development at large. Importantly, the benefits are widely distributed. In destinations such as Alla, Sigiriya, small-scale businesses from homestays to local guides directly benefit from the tourism activity. Indian travelers in particular provide consistency and resilience throughout the year for our growing industry, ensuring that tourism remains sustainable and the engine of growth of our economy. We also have challenges. Sri Lanka operates within a highly competitive global tourism network. Destinations such as Thailand, Bali, Maldives have established their very strong brands. Yet Sri Lanka's strength is differentiation. By leveraging cultural proximity, accessibility, and authenticity, we can position ourselves not just another destination, but as more meaningful and connected experience. Our strategic focus is clear: high value and low impact tourism that prioritize sustainability, quality, and long-term resilience. In conclusion, Sri Lanka is more than a destination. It is a place where shared heritage, cultural familiarity, and diverse experiences come together. For many, particularly within the region, it feels familiar, yet refreshing, comfortable, yet inspiring. This is what truly defines Sri Lanka, the island where India feels at home while welcoming the world. Thank you, everyone. Looking forward to welcome many Indians.
Please, sir, we would request you to please be on the stage.
We'd now like to call upon our CEO, Mr. Raktam Das. Please join us on stage. We'd like to.
He will be coming shortly after this.
We'd like to now go into the next round of felicitations. And this, of course, we have a list. And Professor Rana Singh, thank you so much for making time for us and sharing all those words. We now begin with the next round of felicitations. May we please invite, we'll start by honoring the Grand Legacy Resort and Spa, Mahabaleshwar. And there's a team from the spa and the organization that will be joining us here on stage. The loud round of applause.
All right. We would like to call our CRO, Manish Seth, sir, please come on the stage.
Dr. Arpit Chopra Jain. I'd like to call upon on the stage, critical disease specialist and MD, Arogya Super Specialty Modern Homeopathy Clinic.
Can we please have a big round of applause?
We now call upon
Miss Vaishali Junarkar, teacher, Balasaheb Bharde School. Can you please have Miss Vaishali on the stage? All right, give a huge round of applause, please.
And finally, we'd like to call upon Mr. Deepak Kumar, Director, Homily Construction, Ranchi, Jharkhand. Mr. Deepak Kumar. May we have them? Yes, momentum. And Professor Rana Singh, thank you so much for joining us here on our summit, and would like to honor you for making time and for being here, and for more such interactions in future as well.
Thank you so much again, once again, for giving us your time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's move
Thank
forward.
you to Mr. Seth, our CRO, Z Media.
All right, now it's time for a special address. Finally, we come to the larger civilizational dimension of this partnership, one that goes beyond diplomacy and into shared history and values.
And for that, we're honored to have with us the Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka. May we please call upon stage Santosh Jha, the Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka. Sir, pleasure having you here with us. Please. Yes.
Honorable Hanif Yusuf, Governor of the Western Province and President's Special Envoy for Foreign Investment, Honorable Chatura Abesinghe, Deputy Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development, Professor Ruwan Chaminda Ramanasinghe, Deputy Minister of Tourism, Mr. Raktim Das, CEO Z Media Corporation Limited, distinguished guests, leaders of the industry, friends from the media, and all those who have gathered here today in this beautiful city of Colombo. Ayubowan, Namaskar, Bonakam. 3 greetings, 3 languages, 3 traditions, and yet at their heart and a wish for long life and well-being. That, in a small way, captures the essence of what I want to speak about today, the civilizational bond that binds India and Sri Lanka is rooted in languages, foods, values, and traditions and aspirations. The relationship between India and Sri Lanka did not begin with a treaty, a trade agreement, or a diplomatic communique. It began long before any of those existed. It was a natural two-way current between two proximate geographies, between two people who coexisted and cross-influenced each other to build a rich historical tradition that we both share in many respects and are rightfully proud of it today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm grateful to Z Media and WION for this opportunity to speak at this summit. And I must say, a global innovation and leadership summit in Colombo with this wonderful gathering of business leaders, political thinkers, and media voices from both our countries is exactly the kind of forum our relationship deserves. Let us have more of these, please. As the High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, I have the honor and the challenging task of providing a perspective on a relationship that is both ancient and modern, where there is an infinite past and an everlasting future. This is not simply a bilateral relationship. It is a civilizational bond. We are both inheritors of a shared past. As Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi referred to during his April 2025 visit to Sri Lanka, we are civilizational twins. The Ramayana is not just an Indian epic. It lives in Sri Lanka too, in temples, in stories, in the faith of millions of Indians and Sri Lankans. The Pali Canon, the bedrock of Theravada Buddhism, traveled from India to this island and found one of its most faithful home here. The ancient city of Anuradhapura was built with vision and craft that drew from traditions across the region. Examples of this shared past abound between India and Sri Lanka. These are not coincidences of geography. These are signatures of a shared civilization, and shared civilization produce shared values and instincts. There is certain ease with each other that this brings. This is very hard to manufacture or quantify. It is this depth that provides stability and anchorage to our relationship. Friends, let us now turn to the world we find ourselves in today, because the context matters. We are living through an extraordinary period of global turbulence. Supply chains, markets, and everything else available as a leverage are being weaponized as never before. Geopolitical competition is reshaping trade, alliances, and partnerships. Trust in global order is eroding. Utility of global institutions are in question. Wars and conflicts are proliferating. Even if these are regional, nobody seems immune from its impact. Economic uncertainty, in some form or another, has become almost a permanent condition, and we are all struggling in different degrees to adapt as nations. In these circumstances, relationships built on shallow, transactional foundations are the first to crack. They are the ones where a change in government, a shift in commodity prices, or a geopolitical tremor is enough to undo years of effort. Civilizational bonds are different. They are not dependent on who happens to be in office in any given year. They are not contingent on a favorable deal or a transaction. They are sustained by something deeper and more durable, a shared sense of who we are and where we come from and what we seek to build for ourselves. When the world is uncertain, you turn to those you trust. And trust, real trust, is built over centuries, not decades. India and Sri Lanka have this in plenty. But we must not take it for granted. In fact, we should nurture it, build on it, and use it to our mutual advantage. India, under Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, has pursued a vision of neighborhood first and Mahasagar as a central tenet of our approach towards Sri Lanka. A partnership rooted in shared aspirations for growth and prosperity, not one based on fear, coercion, or primacy of one over the other. At the cornerstone of this vision lies our economic partnership, which is central to our shared aspirations. Much of it, in my view, is a story that is still being written. India today is Sri Lanka's largest trading partner. India is the top source of tourists visiting Sri Lanka, a fact that endures despite challenges of a natural calamity like Ditwa or a conflict in West Asia. India is also among the largest sources of foreign direct investment into this country. Last year, Indian investments in Sri Lanka, including those directed from third countries, exceeded 50% of the total FDI received in Sri Lanka. Indian companies have invested in telecommunications, energy, digitization, financial services, transport, and infrastructure, to name a few. The India-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement has been in place since 2000. That is 25 years. It was the first FTA for both of us, and it is widely acknowledged that the FTA has delivered on its promise of benefiting Sri Lanka more than India. More than 65% of Sri Lankan exports use FTA benefits, whereas only 5% of Indian exports use FTA benefits. For more than a decade, Sri Lanka has enjoyed a trade surplus with India if we just calculate only the FTA-enabled trade. The trajectory of Sri Lankan exports to India is also growing steadily. India is now the second largest export market for Sri Lanka, demonstrating how an FTA can enable an economy of 22 million people to effectively leverage an economy of 1.4 billion people. And yet, by common acknowledgement from both sides, there is much more to be done. Most of all, an upgrade to our FTA into a modern framework that delivers the full potential of our bilateral economic partnership. We have spent too long talking about it, sometimes renaming it, but not actually moving with purpose and required political will to forge a new framework. I say this not to assign blame, but to note that every year of delay is a year of lost opportunity. Think of it, in the last 6 years, India has signed 9 FTAs covering trade with 38 countries. Sri Lanka's recovery from the 2022 economic crisis has been remarkable. I say this with genuine admiration. The resilience of this country, the determination of its people, has been extraordinary to witness. India was proud to stand with Sri Lanka through that period, with credit lines, with fuel, food, medicine, and fertilizers, with the kind of unconditional support that neighbors provide in a crisis. We have always stood by Sri Lanka in times of crisis, more recently during Ditwa and the current West Asia conflict leading to energy crunch. But the best thing India can do for Sri Lanka would be to help build resilience that does not require periodic assistance to be rendered in emergencies. This can be done if we work jointly to build a partnership for prosperity. This entails trade, investments, jobs, value chains, and much more. This is the ambition of our partnership and a vision of our leaders, and I believe it is within reach. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is one theme that I want to leave you with today, it is that India and Sri Lanka must be bold, must be brave, and must seize the moment. And it is not only in matters of trade, but a much larger agenda of connectivity. Let me be direct. The distance between Colombo and Chennai by sea is roughly 300 kilometers. But the distance between Rameshwaram and Talaimanar, the closest points of our two countries, is about 30 kilometers. 30 kilometers only. And yet there is no direct road, no railway, no ferry service that runs on scale. No energy grid connection, no pipeline. It is frankly an anomaly. It is as if two neighboring rooms are connected only through a corridor outside, even when there is a door that can be built between the two rooms, right in the shared walls of the two rooms. We need to open the door. Land connectivity via a bridge or tunnel across the Pork Strait has been discussed for decades. There are enough examples of such corridors across the world. The engineering is well understood, the economics are compelling, the benefits wherever such bridges have been built are unmistakable, but we continue to waver. But let me say clearly, the time for wavering is over. A fixed link between India and Sri Lanka would transform the economic geography of this entire region. It would make Sri Lanka a hub it aspires to become in a way that no port expansion or airport upgrade can achieve on its own. Energy connectivity is equally transformative. India has made massive strides in renewable energy across solar, wind, nuclear, and green hydrogen. Sri Lanka has its own targets. A submarine electricity interconnection between the two countries would give Sri Lanka access to affordable and clean power. It will also create a market for Sri Lanka's energy exports and help realize its vast potential. In a power-hungry age of data centers, India's demand for renewable energy will only increase, and Sri Lanka needs to fully understand that opportunity to forge ahead. Beyond electricity, serious conversations must take place about long-term energy supply arrangements, including the petroleum pipeline and the development of tank farms in a meaningful, sustainable way. It can provide Sri Lanka with price stability and energy security, something that we know today, after the West Asia crisis, is at premium. These are not fantasies. These are projects that have been studied, scoped, and in some cases are ready for decision. India already has implemented similar projects with its other neighbors, Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh, who are benefiting not just by exporting their surplus power to Indian markets, but also by enjoying a level of energy security which would not have been possible otherwise in the current difficult global situation. And then, of course, there is digital connectivity, perhaps the most exciting frontier of all. India is rightfully a global leader in this area today, but UPI, Aadhaar, Gati Shakti, the health stack, the agriculture stack, AI advancements, and startups need not be just Indian achievements. They are platforms that can be adapted, shared, and built upon. These can provide a rapid pathway for Sri Lanka's to realize its own aspirations for a digital transformation. The opportunity to collaborate, to share platforms, to build joint capabilities, to create a seamless digital corridor between our two economies is right in front of us. What we need is an institutional arrangement and focus to pursue it with purpose and energy. Friends, India's engagement with Sri Lanka goes beyond. Most of all, it is about our people, about communities, about the kind of development that changes lives on the ground. Our $450 million US support for post-Titwa reconstruction was for the people of Sri Lanka, first and foremost. In normal times too, our approach has been people-centric. We have built houses all around the island. The Indian Housing Project has provided dignified homes to about 55,000 families. We have assisted with railways, bridges, schools, and hospitals. We have offered scholarships, training, and capacity building. Cultural programs, people-to-people exchanges, and tourism flows are the threads that stitch together a vibrant living relationship. Our development partnership is an investment in stability and shared prosperity. A Sri Lanka that is economically strong, socially cohesive, and regionally connected is unambiguously in India's interest. And a Sri Lanka that sees India as a partner in its development rather than simply a larger neighbor will be better positioned to realize its ambitions. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier, time has come to act, to seize the opportunity in front of us. First, let us update and expand our FTA, not over an extended horizon of time, but now. The economic logic is overwhelming. Second, let us commit to connect, whether it is a land bridge, an underground grid connection, an oil pipeline, or digital linkages. Each of these have been studied ad nauseum. The benefits are obvious, economic logic is unquestionable. Only thing we need is a strong conviction and a relentless pursuit of these objectives. To the business community, I would urge you to look across the POC Strait with fresh eyes. The Sri Lankan market is recovering and growing. Indian companies have enormous capabilities in IT, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, finance, logistics, etc. Sri Lankan companies have talent, entrepreneurial spirit, and a location second to none. Joint venture you have not yet formed, the market you have not yet entered, the supply chain you have not yet connected to. Those are the opportunities sitting on the table. To the policymakers, do not let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Imperfect agreements signed today are worth more than perfect agreements delivered much later or never. And to the media, you have enormous power to shape how our people see each other. Use them wisely to inform people of our natural convergences, but also to question false premises, to interrogate mindsets that inhibit us to act now and deny us the benefits that we can achieve today in our mutual interest. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a phrase I have often heard in Colombo. Sri Lanka is a small island country. Instead, I think Sri Lanka is a country with a long history, immense potential, and even bigger future. That future is most bright, most confident, most prosperous, most resilient, especially when it is pursued in a genuine partnership with India. This is not a partnership of big and small. There is no big brother here, but two civilizational twins. It is a partnership between equals, sharing a civilization, a neighborhood, and a set of interests and aspirations that are more convergent, more than we can imagine having with any of our other partners, proximate or in far geographies. The world is changing fast. The window of opportunity does not stay open forever. India and Sri Lanka have everything they need to build something extraordinary together. All we need now is to start building. I welcome you all to contribute to this endeavor. I wish the summit and its participants all the best. Thank you WION and Z Media for this invitation again. And thank you, Mr. Governor, the Deputy Ministers and other Sri Lankan officials and businessmen present here in contributing to this. Thank you.
Please be on stage. Please be on stage. Beautifully spoken, sir. No bigger brother here. We're two civilizational twins. Beautifully spoken by Mr. Santosh Jha. And I'll request our CEO, Mr. Raktim Das. Sir, please come on stage to honor Mr. Jha.
Thank you so much for giving us your time today, sir. It means a lot. Thank you so much.
And the direct road connectivity between India and Sri Lanka, I'm sure that's going to be making headlines very soon.
Right. Can we please have a big round of applause?
And sir, one last request, Mr. Jha, sir. Mr. Jha, request,
Sir.
sir. Please be on stage. Mr. Das, please be on stage. I'd also like to call upon Mr. Manish Seth, our CRO, Prasanna Raghav, business head for Z Media. Please come on stage. I'd like to invite all our awardees here as well. And before that, I'd like to invite all our dignitaries from the Sri Lankan government. Sir, please, if you can, Governor, sir, please come on stage. We'd like to have a joint photograph with everybody here. Mr. Abhay Singhe and Professor Rana Singhe, requesting all of you all and all our awardees, please come on stage. We'd like to have a group photograph with everybody here on stage.
It was an absolute honor to have you all today. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please come on this stage.
Please join us on the stage. We can take to the second line, I'm guessing. The photographers can guide us, please. Let's please occupy all the stairs as well. We can have this in 3 layers. I'll request, please make space for our Sri Lankan dignitaries. We'd like to have them in the center of the frame. Please, requesting all our awardees, our Sri Lankan dignitaries, our Indian High Commissioner, we'd like to have them in the center. Thank you to everyone for making time and joining us here. We are going to be now calling an end to this summit, but this is only one pause that we're taking in this global lineage of summits that we're having all over the world. Absolutely brilliant experience being here in Colombo for the 5th edition of the Z Media and WION Global Innovation and Leadership Summit. It was an absolutely brilliant experience hearing insightful conversations on how we can bring these two civilizational twins together. No bigger brother here, beautifully spoken by the Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka.
And also, thank you so much everybody for joining us today, and to all of you in the audience, thank you for your presence and engagement throughout these sessions.
We now request everyone, we can proceed for beverages and some eatables that would be laid out, and let the networking continue.
Thank you so much once again, and have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you.
From Lavina and myself, Shivan, that's a wrap on the proceedings for today.
Right.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
Campaigns, elections, alliances, controversies, and power play. Stories that analyze global and domestic politics. A dedicated show with varied perspectives, expert take, citizens' voices, detailed ground reports, and in-depth coverage from political corridors of the world. This is Race to Power, only on WION.
In West Asia, every move shifts the world's balance. Wars, ceasefires, alliances, power never stands still. From Tehran to Tel Aviv, from Damascus to Doha, the West Asia Post cuts through the chaos to reveal the region that shapes the world. Because what happens in West Asia never stays in West Asia. This is the West Asia Post, the region's story, the world's impact.
In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures, and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who truly matter, because we believe in decoding the real picture for you. So you get a much wider and deeper understanding of stories from around the world, a 360-degree analysis. An award-winning documentary series, week after week, creating the maximum impact. Watch WION.
We'd like to have one more photo opportunity, sir, requesting Raktim Das, sir, CEO, please if you can join us on stage. Mr. Santosh Jha, if you can please join us back on stage, sir. Requesting all our Sri Lankan dignitaries, please join us on stage. Professor Rana Singhe, requesting you, Mr. Abhay Singhe. And also requesting Governor Yusuf, please join us on stage. Prasanna sir, please join us. Manish Seth, CRO Z Media, Prasanna Raghav, Business Head Z Media, of course our CEO Raktim Das, requesting all of you all, please come on stage. Governor Yusuf, Professor Rana Singhe, Mr. Abhay Singhe, requesting all our Sri Lankan dignitaries, the Z Media leadership, and High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Mr. Santosh Jha. Siddhant, if you can please request sir to come on stage. We'd like to have a photograph, a photo opportunity. We'll just